So we do an interview prep session to prepare the applicant for the K1 fiancé visa interview. That helps our clients be more familiar with what to expect and to have the practice of going through the questions. So even if you don't have the benefit of doing interview prep with us, I highly recommend, just like you're prepared with your documents, do your homework, go through some practice questions, do your best to be prepared for the interview. The interview itself is actually very short. So again, I think it just helps with the nerves also if you kind of know what to expect and are prepared for it. So one of the things that you'll do to prepare for the interview is to get your medical done, because you're required to have certain vaccinations in order to be able to come to get the K1 fiancé visa and enter the United States. So again, follow the consular instructions and make sure you get your medical done in plenty of time before your interview. In preparing all the documents that you need to bring with you to your K1 fiancé visa interview at the consulate, again, you must be really thorough and go through all the consular instruction and make sure you've got everything ready. Typically that includes, of course, you're going to bring with you your passport. You want evidence of that both you and your fiancé are free to marry. So any divorce or death or annulment certificates, where it's applicable. You would typically also include police certificates for many countries that you've been to, for an extended period of time. So you would also have evidence of the financial support from the US petitioner. So typically this would be Form I-134, and along with financial documents like tax returns or recent pay stubs or an employment letter, things like that that show that your US citizen petitioner is financially able to be a sponsor. And even though USCIS has already adjudicated and approved of this fiancé relationship, you should still bring updates and more evidence of the continuing relationship. Also, you want to make sure you have passport photos as well as proof that you've paid the visa fee. You finally get to attend your K1 fiancé visa interview at the consulate. So hopefully the interview goes well, and once your case is approved, then the officer will take your passport, and it'll take probably about a week or two to get the K1 fiancé visa itself into the passport. And once you have the passport, then you are free to enter the United States to be with your fiancé. But of course, you're not done. Once you enter the United States, then you must marry within 90 days of entry and file for adjustment of status. So that's another way of saying applying for permanent residence or a green card. The primary form requesting permanent residence is that Form I-485. And so once that's approved, then you'll become a conditional permanent resident of the United States. And I say conditional because the marriage will be less than 2 years old. So that means you don't get a full, without condition, permanent resident, green card, but your card will expire in 2 years. And that means in the 90 days before your 2-year green card expires, you must file to remove that condition. And then you'll have, just a regular, typical permanent resident card. And then of course, assuming you're married and living together, then if it's been 3 years since you first received conditional permanent residence, then you may be eligible to apply for US citizenship. So that's kind of looking far into the future, but I want to give you an overview of the whole kind of process of the K1 fiancé visa and then entering the United States, and then of course, what to kind of expect thereafter. I know the K1 fiancé visa process can seem kind of complicated, but with patience and diligence and for the purpose of love, it's definitely a path well worth taking. So if you need any assistance or help, please feel free to reach out to us. If you found this helpful, please like the video, and for more like it, please subscribe. Also, feel free to leave any comments below, as like I said, we definitely check those for future videos.